happiness in a smile. Love and compassion hand in hand. Forgiveness helps us understand. Infinite threads weaving hearts together, even miles apart. Through the laughter, through the tears, we find strength to face our fears. Infinite threads weaving hearts together, even miles apart.
Hello again, my friends. Welcome back to Infinite Threads, where we talk about love, connection, and apparently this week, the fine art of realizing when we're being just a little bit ridiculous. I'm Bob, your host, and today we're continuing on our deep dive into self-awareness. Why? Because if more people could take a step back and ask, wait, am I the problem here? Well, let's just say the world might have fewer Twitter fights and more moments of actual understanding. Self-awareness is hard. It's uncomfortable, but it's also necessary if we want to live with more love and less ego. And let's be real, sometimes the hardest person to see clearly is ourselves. Why is self-awareness so hard? Let's take a start with this. Self-awareness is like going to the gym. At first, it's all optimism and good intentions. Then about 5 minutes in, you're wondering why you ever thought this was a good idea. And by the end, you feel sore, but better. It takes effort to see ourselves objectively. And effort is something we humans like to avoid when it involves any kind of discomfort. That's why we instinctively defend ourselves even when we know we might be wrong. Ever been in an argument where halfway through you realize you are actually wrong, but you've already invested so much energy into defending yourself that you just keep going? Yeah, that's the brain resisting self-awareness in real time. It's called cognitive dissonance. When our beliefs and actions don't match up, and rather than adjust, we double down. It's that moment when you eat an entire pint of ice cream, then tell yourself it was self-care because technically dairy has calcium. Or when someone speeds past you on the highway and you immediately assume they are reckless and that they're a menace to society. But when you speed, oh well, obviously you had a good reason. This is how we justify our own behavior while condemning others for the same thing. It's not malice, it's human nature. But here's the thing. If we never recognize it, we never change it. Once upon a time, self-awareness was something we gained through quiet reflection. These days, not so much. Now we react before we reflect. We post before we process. We form opinions in 280 characters or less. Social media has made it easier than ever to fall into an us versus them mindset. If we surround ourselves only with people who agree with us, we lose the chance to question our own views, and questioning ourselves, that's where growth happens. Here's a radical idea. What if we didn't treat being wrong as losing? What if admitting a mistake was seen as a sign of wisdom rather than weakness? Imagine a world where instead of arguments spiraling into name-calling, someone just says, "You know what? I hadn't considered that perspective. Let me think about it." I know, it feels like a fantasy novel, right? But here's the thing. We can create that kind of world. It starts with us. So how do we actually practice self-awareness? Here's some simple but powerful ways. 1. You can pause before you react. The next time something triggers you, before you fire off that comment, before you roll your eyes, before you jump to conclusions, pause. Just for a second. Ask yourself, why is this bothering me? Am I reacting emotionally, or do I actually believe this response? That split-second pause can mean the difference between a thoughtful response and an emotional reaction. 2. You could listen more than you speak. I once heard a quote that said, "The smartest person in the room is usually the quietest." Why? Because they're listening. We can learn a lot about ourselves by listening to others, especially with people we don't agree with. Because listening isn't about winning, it's about understanding. Or 3, get comfortable with the oops moments. Nobody likes realizing they were wrong, but here's a secret. Admitting you were wrong doesn't make you weaker, it makes you wiser. Think about the people you respect most in life. Are they the ones who stubbornly refuse to change their minds? Or are they the ones who are open to new ideas? Self-awareness means being able to say, wow, I used to believe that, but I've learned something new. That's growth. Okay, just for fun, let's do a quick test. Be honest with yourself. Now you have to be honest with yourself. You're only talking to yourself right now while you're reading this. So, first question, have you ever criticized someone for being on their phone too much while you're checking your phone? Truth. How about, have you ever accused someone of interrupting while interrupting yourself? Or have you ever rolled your eyes at someone's bad driving while making the same mistake? If you answered yes to any of these, congratulations, you're human, and the good news, you can always do better. At the end of the day, self-awareness isn't about shame or guilt. It's about learning to see ourselves more clearly, with honesty and humor. It's about recognizing our patterns, laughing at our own contradictions, and growing in love and understanding. So let's make an effort this week, not to be perfect, but to be aware. Because awareness leads to change, and change, done with love, leads to a better world. Hey guys, new episode drops tomorrow, so be sure to tune in. Until then, stay kind, stay aware, and keep growing. I love you all very, very, very much, and you know what I need you to do. Go pass that on. Later, Gators.